For this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice therein and be glad. Salutations. I'm Tiffany Cheyenne, your spiritual climatologist, stopping by today to give you your forecast advisory for the week. Let's do some aerobics with the following scriptures. Psalms 146, 3 through 4. Do not put your trust in prince, in human beings who cannot save. His spirit departs, he returns to the earth, and in that very day his thoughts perish. Sometimes we seek out for other people to soothe our pain, and if they're not anointed to heal, it's like borrowing a band-aid from someone who's infected. We go through great measures to find treatment just to discover we were cross-contaminated by an unauthorized touch, by an unauthorized provider that didn't think enough of you to use universal precautions. Forgetting the fact that they took the Hippocratic oath to uphold ethical standards. We proceed forth blinded by our situation that we are willing to take man at his word. The same man that swore on several gods to withhold this standard. However, they use you as a write-off to collect benefits at your expense. You launch out for a covering, and it's mind-boggling to learn that you got your wound agitated, cross-contaminated, and stuck with a high bill. Everybody can't lay hands on you. Everybody can't cover you. Why? Because their pre-existing only adds to your pre-existing. And the placebo shot you underwent by the distribution of their hands, your body will reject it. You may ask why? Well, it's because a leper cannot cure a leper. When God delivers, he sets free. There is no need for a follow-up nor a treatment plan. God is the only antidote. No matter your pre-existing condition, I just want you to know today that Jesus saves. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, God is the answer. Sometimes we can be so overbearing by what we're going through, we forget that Jesus is the answer. We look for a man to give us an answer, to guide us or to instruct us. But sometimes we have to get gutsy, like the lady with the issue of blood. And we have to press our way through the persecution, press our way through the crowd, press our way through the naysayers, press our way through the stalkers, press our way to the congregation that's just looking at us, just to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. Just a touch. No matter what we look like, no matter what we're going through, we have to push. Pray until something happens. And that's a model that we all need to adapt, is to push. 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 We have to pray until something happens. Praise until something happens. I would like to propose a question. Why do we feel that we must talk to people about our problems instead of God? Yes, I know many may argue that you just need a human to talk to and get a release. And yes, I do agree. It feels much better when we can get things off our chest. But I must ask, are we really praying about it as much as we're talking about it? Some people know everything about us, and we have yet to take it to the throne of grace. We'll try to leave our burdens at man's altar, but we won't come to the church altar. We'll take man at his word, but we won't take God at his word. If God says we're healed, we second guessing it. If God says, come to me, you're like, God, is that you talking to me? I don't know. What could God do with me? Yes, that's God calling us. But sometimes we can be so cramped and so bogged down by our situation that we won't move. And that's when we need to activate and put on the garment of praise to release the shackles off our feet so we can dance. We can praise. When we praise, those grave clothes will drop. When we praise, everything that is binding us will drop. Yes, people may be able to sympathize with you in your situation, but at the end of the day, it's still our burden. It's still our cross to bear. They have our information. They know what we're going through. And if they haven't been ordained by God or ordained in your life, all they're going to do is sit here and tell your business and sell it out to the highest bidder. And then we wonder, how can we put our trust in somebody and confide in people and they sell our information and cast it out to the swine? That's why we need to take our cares to God. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Psalms 55 and 22. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe God permitted you to go through this? Storms don't always come to destroy, but they also come to bless, to launch, to teach, and to reach. Sometimes a storm or a hardship is God's only way to really get our attention. Sometimes we can be on a high roll and doing so good. If God didn't place some things in our life to draw us back to Him, will we really stop and bless God? Will we stop and reverence God? Will we stop and have a one-on-one and worship with God? If God didn't allow the rain to come, could we really be grateful? Could we really thank God? But what God allowing us to go through, every experience has enhanced our character, and we have overcame by God. And that's a beautiful thing, that God will never leave us or forsake us at all. We must worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is very jealous, is a God who is jealous about his relationship with you. Exodus 34 and 14. God will not allow your person of choice to be your hero of your life that sweeps in a cape and save the day. It's not that easy, because God is not going to allow anyone to steal his glory. It belongs to him. Because to tell you the truth, if Ray Ray or Kim is there when the storm cease, we would utter, if it had not been for them, I would have never made it. If it had not have been for Ray Ray paying that bill, I would have never made it. If Kim would have never stuck by I would never have overcame this. And that is not true. If it had not been for the Lord who was on your side. Now, let Israel say, had it not been for the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they would have swallowed us alive when their anger was kindled against us. Psalms 124. God wants to heal you everywhere you hurt. An untreated wound can kill you. There are so many people whose wounds are deep. Some of you have been wounded for so long till the dressing you have them covered with is beginning to leak. You've tried to keep it covered for so long, but now the smell you just can't ignore. It's gotten bigger, it hurts, and now your body is sore. You lay in bed at night with your body racked full of pain. Infection has set in now, is heavy on the brain. It is my prayer that God will come in and debride your wound of hurt, pain, malice, unforgiveness, rejection, bitterness, and everything that's ailing you. Anything that's keeping you from your healing. There are so many people that are hurting. So many people that have lost their voice and are about ready to give up the fight. I just want to encourage you and let you know that you shall live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. Psalms 118 and 17. Never let someone have so much control over you. Unforgiveness is like a cancer. It keeps eating and spreading, and it starts eating on your vital organs. Unforgiveness and people allowing people to have control over you, it's like you're giving them control over your thermostat. Like you set your thermostat in your house. They control whether you're happy, whether you're sad, or whether you're neutral. Never let anyone have that much control over you. Your thermostat should have a lock on it. And the only one who should have the access code is God. People feel like you give people so much power, they become your God, your idol. And then when they're gone, you feel like everything left with them. But don't allow your life allow it to just pass away because someone didn't apologize to you or hurt you. Because I'm going to tell you, so many of you are looking for closure, but sometimes the only closure that you need is to close the door. God can't give you what he has for you when you're sitting here holding your hands full of yesterday. God wants to debride you and move you forward. So now you're feeling uncomfortable because this is not the place God wants you to be. Sometimes God allows us to be uncomfortable and he'll sow that seed, because if he don't, you'll never move. You'll never grow. You'll never let it go. It's okay not to be okay. I just want to encourage you to hold on, for help is on the way. Stop running to man. Give your problems to God. He's going to be up all night anyway. You see, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Now, your morning will be different than somebody else's morning. Why, you may ask? Because your morning is whenever you wake up. Your morning could be at midnight, and somebody else's could be at noonday. Now, it is very imperative that you learn how to prophesy over yourself. As it is written, I have made you a father of many nations. Before him who he believed, even God, who gives life to dead and calls those things which are not as though they were. Romans 4 and 17. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. If God has given you authority, why not use it? Speak to your night what your day shall bring forth. Speak to your night what your day shall bring forth. If you're going through some things and you need something, some examples of speaking to your night, well, I'll speak to my night that my day shall bring forth peace, healing, restoration, joy, a breakthrough. You tell your day what it's going to be. It's all about climate control. You set your atmosphere. We go back to the thermostat. You set your atmosphere. Don't allow problems, situations, people, or things to adjust your atmosphere. Make your atmosphere so conducive that a blessing was already sitting there waiting on you. Keep your atmosphere full of praise. It's not scriptural, but it's true. When the praises go up, the blessings will come down. Never give someone that much control over you. God is calling you back to the threshing floor, for he desires your praise, your worship. He longs to take you behind the veil. God already knew the situation before you got yourself into it. God wants to be intimate with you. Break down intimacy is see in me, or you can look inside of me and see inside of me. God wants to live inside of you. He don't want to have to fight against all these problems and soul ties and everything. So make an atmosphere where God can live. He wants to be one with you. God already knew the situation. God already knew this was going to happen. It was already been predestined. But you have to have faith to know God already told you it was finished. So why are you crying on what somebody else did? You already have the victory. You already in the victory. You're just living it out. There's no need to keep crying over a battle that's already been won. Continue to hold on to God's unchanging hand. The devil can't take what you don't know and destroy what you do know. You don't know what tomorrow holds, but it's okay. But tomorrow will take care of itself because God is already there. But you see, what you do know is that it's finished and you already have the victory. You don't have to be the opening act for nobody else's entertainment. My mother gave me a motto a long time ago. My mother is a preacher and she says, before I let the devil win, I'll go right back and I'll pray again. Just because you don't see God working doesn't mean he's not there. You don't see the air, but you feel it. Don't give no more unordained or unauthorized people backstage passes to your most intimate setting. God is looking for a one-on-one with you. While it is said today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your heart, as when they provoked me, Hebrews 3 and 15. God has sent the open invitation. Will you respond? It is my prayer that you will go ahead and RSVP to this event, just to go behind the veil, just to have a one-on-one, just to be with Jesus. Because one thing about Jesus, he is constant. He's not like man. He won't AEIOU you, but he will remain the same. I just want you to know that you can make it. You are an overcomer, for you can overcome, for Jesus overcame. Do not let your situations dictate to you, but you dictate to your situation, for your God is greater. God is the problem solver. All you need to do is open up your mouth wherever you're at and ask God to come in and help. And you don't have to have this long drawn out prayer to get God's attention. Do a David, send a distress call. Help, God, I'm in need. And I just want you to know that the winds may blow. And yes, the storms may rage. But when God speaks, they have to obey. This is Tiffany Cheyenne. Catch me here again next week. Same time, same channel. Shalom.